All right. Hello, anyone watching. This is Empedocles, starting, about to start up the second part of the Cosmos Without Hatred Fanatic Purifier run. And welcome, and thank you for watching. This time I actually am in Twitch chat, so I can respond if anyone has any comments. And let's have some fun with this. Hmm, let's clear the galaxy of all of these filthy moon men. Let's see. This time I'm going to take a little bit to actually introduce everyone, for anyone that didn't watch the first one, and just to get everyone updated on what's going on. So in the first session, I used a rapid expansion build to expand all the way down this arm and managed to colonize about as many planets as all of my neighbors put together. This kept them from attacking me so far, but I noticed that at the end of my last session, they had formed a defensive pact, which, unlike in other Paradox games, there's no alliance until you unlock the Federation. So the AI actually uses defensive pacts as effectively alliances. And they will use, whenever they're calculating whether or not to attack you, they will take into account all of their defensive pact allies, and they'll all attack you together. So these filthy birds are my only immediate neighbors. I'm not sure whether these other neighbors can actually get to me. If they have hyperdrives or warp drives, they probably cannot. So these are the main threat. They have about the same naval capacity as me. They get 100% bonus to that, and that means they can fill the fleet about as big as mine. But their technology is so much better than mine that their fleet's going to be a lot stronger than me. And they're allied with their next neighbors, these guys, who are relatively weak. They just got out of a war with these guys. And last but not least, these guys are relatively weak, but they're going to jump in whenever the Macaw Utopia, if they want to call it that, decide they want to attack me. So I need to ideally discourage that. I'm playing because I'm playing to win here, and the more time I have just to expand and increase my economy, the better. But it'll be much more interesting if they actually attack me. And from my past experience with these AIs, they probably will. So I need to actually get my defenses prepared. Right now I've just got a fleet and I got a bunch of starports, but nothing else. So this is where I'm going to set up my main defense. And I took a little bit of time between this stream and the last one with it paused to queue up a couple things, and one of those is a construction ship. This one's going to turn this system here into a death trap, and I'm going to send my fleet to help with that. Also, I'm going to try to expand out more. So I need to build more wormhole stations because my borders are enormous, but really they should be covering all this other area, and they're not yet. And we need to fix that as soon as possible. Or, maybe we will find more victims. I mean, find more filthy moon men to purge. So, and the last problem that I've noticed is we're kind of hurting on energy, partly because we're getting a colony going, but we want significantly more energy than that. So I need to build a couple of power plants to fix that. And I've already queued them up on effectively every planet that I have control over. So with that said, let's actually unpause and get started. This is an interesting event. A shrine to a great destroyer deity. Huh. Yeah, I definitely want to check out the shrines of a great warrior deity. So let's track all of these. And we'll send my fleet around to check on them. And we'll get ready to queue up another wormhole station. Best place would probably be here, but it's always nice to have them at It's always nice to have your wormhole stations near your starports. And in particular, I like to place them right next to the starport, as close as I can get them, so that I can get to the planet faster and defend it during a war. Okay. We found another shrine to the Untolds. What do we need to do for that? Send a scientist there. So let's survey that. We always want to finish surveying before we send our people elsewhere. Okay, so this one is going to build a defense platform. So right by default, they're set up pretty badly, but the subspace snare is actually quite useful. However, these things always get blown up immediately after the enemy fleet warps in. So I prefer not putting anything but defenses on them, just as sort of so they can act as something of a meat shield. There we go. Okay, so we can't afford it yet, but soon. That's interesting. Systems not connected to their sectors. Maybe that's it. Gillis, Isum, Jumia, Rixum, Chala, Bvana. So it is these. Probably need to add this. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Of course, we have to destroy the mining drones. Okay, so we'll place it just eyeballing it to get the approximately our ship's missile weapon range. Oh, and when we place it, we want to make sure that we have enough space between here and to place uh, a repair station with a nanobot cloud that will cover a little bit in front of the shipyard. Okay. So our tradition, we're getting traditions at a fairly good rate. Now that I built monuments everywhere. Our tech, on the other hand, is incredibly slow. Like we're looking at almost 6 years to get even basic techs. And honestly, fixing that right now is going to cost too many minerals, so I'm not going to bother. We should be able to win the first war with just the basic tech, and after that, that will catch us up on all of the military techs. And once we are safe and have a bit of some confidence that we can't be beaten, we can go back through and develop all of our worlds and specialize some of them into research worlds. But for now, that will have to wait. So we still need to keep our corvettes up. We don't want to go over our limit just yet. Oh. Yeah. So it seems my democracy focus might have worked a little too well, because I'm getting way more influence than I need. So I'm going to use that to start using some edicts on some of these planets. And early game, the best edict by far is this infrastructure projects. Mostly because it adds an additive minus percentage cost to everything you do, to everything you build. And that's a big deal because we can add it to other costs or other cost reducers, such as this one. So that's another 10%. And this one, which is another 10%. So when we add all those up, and instead of being just 25%, each one you add gets better and better. So right now we're at minus 45% with this edict. And if we add this on, like we're going to do in 4 months, then it becomes minus 60% cost on every building you build. So we're paying, something that would normally cost 100 will only cost 40. And that's a pretty big deal. That makes it actually efficient to develop your core worlds. So we got our first one. Let's design another platform. This one will be I'm going to name them so that I can actually recognize what they are. And this one will be at a long range to the enemy. So I want my longest range weapons, which the larger they are, each of them gets 20 extra range. So this one will be building with large platforms. Otherwise, they're not actually going to be able to shoot anyone. Okay, and this one will be using a nanobot cloud. We're going to make another one that does a shield dampener. So you see this technique used a lot with fortresses, when you can put kinetic artillery on them, but it actually works quite well even when you're just using basic platforms. Not for the damage they can apply, but just for the fact that these auras are pretty strong. Certainly, when you get into a fleet of 50 corvettes, they certainly beat out the cost of, the 3 corvettes you could buy for the same thing. And they don't affect your force limit. So the way to think about the force limit is, right now, with about the force limit, I'm paying 21 ship maintenance. If I build up to double my force limit, if I build 112 to 112 naval capacity, I will be paying 4 times as much energy. So I can't afford to pay 80 energy to get 50 more, 60 energy extra to get 6 more ships. So these are, whenever you're already at your fleet limit, these are a bit stronger ways to improve your just how well your fleets function. So we're going to start by building this. These 2 are the most important. I got a new ship. What are these? Oh. Well, it's certainly a lot better than my ship. I guess it's a destroyer. Well, in any case, let's have them all go together. And go and check this other one out. Okay. Now, I sent this guy here mostly because I want to build a wormhole station and see if I can reach over here. I'm not certain that I can, but it's worth a shot. Okay, so we had a colony going. We're going to want to build a spaceport. And okay. Okay, so now it's really cheap to start. Now we're at our minus 60% cost reduction. So now's when I like to actually start upgrading all of this. So mining network for 24 minerals? Sure, why not? Upgrade this farm for 24? Sure. So I'm going to be focusing all of my minerals expenditure on just the places that have the maximum reduction. And I could just go down the list as I get every planet set up. And 1 second, guys. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, we'll be upgrading these 2 planets in a pretty focused manner. Okay, and noticing that I am up to enough energy to start my next colony. I know, and this planet has 25. It's a size 25, which is pretty nice. So we'll go here, even though it doesn't give us any more area. Ah, perfect. This will be our scout fleet. This will be our second scout fleet. Okay, so for building a defense flower like this, you want to build the nanobots near your, let's see, build the nanobots near your platform so that they will heal it during battle. And then going out from there, I like to build the 2 offensive auras. Oh, that's interesting. Well, I guess we're not crossing over there. Well, luckily in this, they usually will not attack you for expanding. You do before you find them. But I'll have to deal with those later. So those guys are probably not going to attack us unless we build some frontier outposts in these areas, which is lucky, because they would destroy us pretty handily. So Okay. So let's see. We just discovered a couple of new empires. I guess this spiral arm is not the best. The inner spiral arm is not the best place for expansion. We want to know who don't they like, and who are they allied with. So these guys are in a band together. These guys seem to be rather unliked, and with a weak empire. Well, this basically tells me what I need to do. Well, let's get my starport first, and then I will deal with that. I'm going to invade these guys and take their 2 planets, because they seem to not be well liked by their neighbors and don't have any defensive packs. First, I still need to get my starports down. I still need to build these here. Okay, looks like we found the mineral hub. This is a great planet if you could. The system's very mineral rich. If we can take it out and get it within our borders. Ah, that's unfortunate. They're also apparently pretty good at catching your corvettes. So here's where we will be expanding to next. And our shipyard could definitely use a wormhole. What do we want to do? We can get a bunch of energy if we monetize it. Gain a little bit of influence, some society research, or change everyone to spiritualist. I don't want to lose so I do eventually want to be spiritualist, but not now. So let's definitely monetize it. I could really use that. Okay. This guy needs to actually be doing research, because he is amazing. Overt glory, indeed. You've been demoted. I need to plan out how I'm going to attack these guys.
Initial project complete. System survey complete. Construction complete.
Okay, so now we have basically all the energy we need. We're going to colonize these planets. Well, these ones at least. My people really... One of my factions wants me to build a frontier outpost, so I haven't actually needed one yet, because I can spread my influence by just colonizing. But it's about time I make them happy. Okay, so this seems to be the extent of what I can expand. These guys are quite strong. Still, that's a pretty good starting territory. I can build up from here. Okay. As soon as I get the minerals for it, I'm going to build a frontier outpost. So to do that, I actually need to survey the star. This is going to be the best one, so I'm going to survey it. Start on the next colony. Yes.
Construction complete. Construction complete. Construction complete. Colonization in progress. CWH. Situation log updated.
So much influence. So we're about to have. I like this guy. Oh, lacking minerals. There we go. This will build a wall around these moon men. They even look ugly.
Construction complete.
Keep them from expanding into any of my planets here. So,
Construction complete. System survey complete.
interesting. So these people that we're talking about attacking, we're going to actually have to be destroying their, like we're actually going to have to take out their starport. And destroyers are a little bit more efficient at that than using straight corvettes. So we're going to build some large and medium gun destroyers. And these are simply here to help us take out starports better. To do that, we need to upgrade this.
Construction complete.
Oh, lost a scientist. There we go. Where I have not surveyed. Okay. Good. These guys are still. So now that they see that they're right next to me, they're going to be trying to find a buddy. But it looks like they've pissed off all of their neighbors too much. That's what happens when you're slaving despots.
System survey complete.
Okay. I just noticed something. We've got some. Yeah. Filthy Xenos in our space. And they're on a very nice planet. Max size. So let's go do something about that. We'll set this and our colony ship to both go set up. That will only take one core sector limit.
Construction complete. System survey complete. Situation log updated.
So 2 food's a big enough bonus to override specialization, but what I really want is energy. I need a very large energy output so that I can afford to go over my fleet limit a lot. And at least when they're this good, minerals are worth paying for. There we go. They're no match for us.
Enemy planet secured.
However, this does mean we're going to have to get rid of one of our planets. I think we'll do that by throwing Castor in a sector. I did pay for infrastructure projects on it, but with the high gravity, it's not really worth. It's the one I least care about. There we go. Let's take this time to check on all of our sectors. They seem to be doing okay. Yeah, not doing anything too notable.
Colonization in progress. Construction complete. Colony established. War has been declared against us.
Oh no. It looks like they decided to declare war on us themselves without pulling in any of their allies. That is lucky for us. Although if we lose our fleet, the rest of them are going to come calling too. Okay. I want to keep this because it's a double system. Have to keep my shipyards. It's like Talandra can go into a sector. There we go. And this one will need a pop. And while we're here, let's deal with these before we get all into dealing with the fact that we are at war. Definitely need one of those. This is a good research planet. Now, the next thing So the next thing to do now that we're actually at war is get our defense armies started. We want to have everywhere that they're likely to attack building defense armies. I've already pre-built a couple along the border.
Construction complete.
But they're most likely to attack the places that they claimed as war demands. If we look at these, we can see it's basically all the planets here. Basically everything back to about here. All of our main core sector. Their fleet's a bit stronger than us. Destroyers are at least heavy on point defense. And they do use wormholes, so we can't expect them to only attack the borders first. But they did in this case. And we're not going to defend this. We're just going to build some defense armies and hope to slow them down a little bit.
Construction complete. Station under attack. Construction complete.
Now, before I forget, let's set what our demands are. And it looks like they're small enough that we can we grab everything? Yes. Well, that's better than the other options, so we're going to do that. And this is a very dangerous gamble for them. I'm going to try to see to it that it doesn't pay off.
Mining station lost. Mining station lost.
Oh, they're killing our mining stations. Well, nothing to do about that. I guess we'll just have to build more.
Spaceport lost. Situation log updated. System survey complete. Construction complete.
Oh.
Construction complete. Enemy troops landing.
Let's see. Oh yeah. So we should be able to fight this off. Yep.
Enemy invasion defeated.
There we go.
Construction complete.
So the combination of the Fanatic Purifier bonus plus all of our other bonuses meant that we were able to mean that it's relatively easy to fight those off.
System survey complete. Building ruined.
Oh, they're ruining our buildings. We'll live.
Construction complete.
So the longer we can stall them, the more time we have to build up our military.
System survey complete.
Nope. We started to see the people on the far end of our spiral. Over here. Looks like there's probably either a person here, another empire looks to be here. Otherwise, these borders would not be so flat. Right there and right here. Okay. Despite the fact that we're at war, we can't afford to fail at our macro. In fact, it's even more important now.
Construction complete. Colony established.
We're going to build ships until we're a little negative on energy credits. Then whenever we take the ships away from these things, then we'll go significantly more negative.
Construction complete. System survey complete.
And we'll pause a bit. Okay, we can't yet upgrade these guys.
Research complete.
Oh, we actually finished some research. That will be useful later, not so much now. This is actually one of the better things. It's the best tier 2 building for us. Because power plants are effectively always the best.
Construction complete. Research complete.
Hmm? These are both good. This one leads to robots and is generally helpful. I don't think I have too much Betharian, just 2 or 3. So this one will be a larger bonus overall.
Construction complete.
So we'll stick with that. Now we're actually getting pretty into it. We're currently at almost 5 times the tradition cost. So this will give us a rather large bonus. So this one costs 2,191. The next one costs 300 less. That's pretty good.
Construction complete. Construction complete.
This will be devoted entirely to energy.
Research complete.
Ooh, I can get more. I've been waiting on that actually. I want to be able to get more leaders. So I plan on getting Mastery of Nature this game, so I don't want to waste research, very limited research on tile blockers.
Construction complete.
Okay.
System survey complete.
What? I think they actually wiped out the mining station for me. I need to see if that's true.
Construction complete.
But they do need to get out because they're not welcome here, and they're relatively weak. So we will be able to take them out. So I actually want them to beat this because I'm almost ready to fight their army.
Construction complete.
Let's get ready to attack them.
Construction complete.
Gonna get some wormhole stations ready. I like to build them in pairs so that fleets don't interfere with each other. Once we get, at the very least, once we get to this point in the game. Early on, it's known an efficient use of minerals.
Building ruined. System survey complete. Anomaly found.
Oh, yeah. This thing is awesome.
Construction complete.
Okay, fair enough.
Construction complete. War has been declared against us.
Oh,
System survey
it's
complete.
time.
Anomaly found.
I guess someone else decided that they should attack me. Who is this? The Paux Crudonian Hegemony.
Construction complete.
Oh, it's my other neighbors down here. So unfortunately, against these guys, I'm much less prepared. So with that noted, I want to stall these guys. by building more defensive armies.
Complete. Construction complete.
Let's set our demands. Start with, we can vassalize or tributize them, but I far prefer actually just taking them over. We can't cleanse them if we vassalize them, at least not yet. And that's honestly, we'll just say that's not ideal. So at this point, well, we need to wait and see what they attack us with.
Construction complete. Building ruined.
Okay, so this is a good fleet size. We're at -6 whenever we're not, before we undock it. Until we can get more energy, I don't want to go too much higher than that. But we can get a bit more energy by doing this. Okay, that'll have to be. Oh, we got a little more we can get. Oh, here is what we're facing. These guys are significantly tougher. They do use hyperdrives, which is good for us. That gives us a pretty good idea of where we're going to have to defend. So those first 2 colonies are probably goners. This one we may be able to set up a trap for. But beating them, given the size of this, that might still be difficult. They're up to 9 cruisers, which aren't going to do great against us. So we're going to need to go with a substantially larger fleet.
Station under attack. Spaceport lost.
And we're actually getting to that point where we need to start upgrading our spaceports to counteract the oversupplied energy. So everyone here increase this will decrease the multiplier, which is currently at almost double. Like
Construction
fleet
complete.
maintenance costs. Okay, that's fine. Oh, we actually lost our main person. We don't actually want him. Some of these will actually help us out here. This one seems the best. I'm going to support him a bit.
Situation log updated. Construction complete. Construction complete. Construction complete. Building ruined. System survey complete.
Okay, so this seems pretty bad, but if we play our cards right, we can come out of it and win. It's not going to be easy though. So my preference is to stall. I want to stall the weaker enemy while attacking,
Enemy troops landing.
while destroying the. Actually, no. I want to stall the stronger enemy while attacking the weaker one. And
Planet lost to invasion. Construction complete.
so fleet power is not actually very well calculated. So we could probably actually take out this second fleet. Unupgraded ships are sort of underestimated by the fleet power, but I want to be able to do it with relatively few losses, and we're not there yet. Where do I have unrest? Oh, of course. Hmm.
Construction complete. Building ruined.
Yeah, who knows when they're actually going to get around to taking this, if they are.
Construction complete. Enemy troops landing.
Okay, so they will probably succeed at that one. They'll probably go here next, and then head for Castor. So I want to set up Castor as another military, as a trap for these guys.
Planet lost to invasion.
Oh my, they're all dying.
System survey complete. Evading hostile fleet.
Oh, they're actually heading directly for. They're bypassing the one I expected them to attack.
Situation log updated. Evading hostile fleet.
This is looking dicey.
Construction complete.
Now, let's see. 10% of my ship maintenance would be 8. That would actually be pretty useful right around now. Now let's go see if we can eke some more energy out of all of these people. So they definitely... We can get a little here. A little here. And this seems to be about as much as we can get. So it definitely helped to upgrade these starports.
Construction complete. Building ruined. Construction complete.
How'd you end up back there?
Construction complete. System survey complete. Construction complete. Hostile fleet detected. Evading hostile fleet.
Okay.
Construction complete.
So, to recap, I'm these guys in the middle, and I'm currently being invaded by this person on to my south, who has a much larger fleet than me, and this person to my north, who's not nearly as imposing. And I'm trying to prepare to actually fight. Like, I'm trying to actually slow them down before they conquer me. And against the more imposing fleet, I'm going to fight them here. I'm setting up a trap for them, and I hope it'll be enough.
Construction complete.
Because if not, that could end this run relatively quickly. Because they want about half of my empire if I lose.
Construction complete. System survey complete. Anomaly found. Building ruined. Enemy troops landing.
Okay, they're invading. I think they're going to take this. So I need to get fully prepared here. So this time I want to get full coverage for these defense platforms.
Planet lost to invasion.
That means opposite this one, which has a anti-shield aura, I'm going to build another one with the same aura. And across from the mine laying platform, I'm going to build another mine laying platform. And yeah, so wish me luck. They're probably going to head from Castor once they have it over to where I'm defending. And they've got a much larger fleet.
Construction complete. Evading hostile fleet. Wormhole station lost. Situation log updated.
Oh, they decided to go to Talandra first. That's good for me. I'm going to go take out these transports.
Research complete. Building ruined. Construction complete. Building ruined. Situation log updated.
Okay, they now no longer have transports. That's good for me. That will delay them from conquering Talandra for a fairly substantial amount of time. Ah, no, they have another transport fleet. Let's see. It's heading to Castor Prime for reasons I don't understand,
Construction complete.
but I won't argue. I'll just kill it.
Construction complete.
They apparently... Okay, I guess I won't kill that. Okay, instead, what I'm going to do,
Detected.
start building up my spaceports, and let's see about wiping out this Macaw fleet.
Building ruined. Debris analyzed. Construction complete.
Okay.
Hostile fleet detected. Hostile fleet engaged.
Here we go. I'm going to slow down and watch this. Okay. They're out damaging us a bit,
Hostile fleet detected.
but we have far more hit points than they do.
Situation log updated.
So they decided to run. We took out about half of their corvettes and lost 25 of our own. We're going to have to replace those before we want to fight the next group. I'd like to stall these as long as possible, but we don't have a good general for it, so I'm not going to bother right here. I just checked out their... So I analyzed the debris of the transport ships and got shields, good fusion, good. I got 5 good techs off of that. I'll be able to analyze this one and get more. Okay. Yeah, it looks like that is enough to take over Talandra. So we're going to have to make our stand here.
Planet lost to invasion.
So they've got a pretty nice... They've got a lot of war score here. We can't afford to let them take another planet.
Construction complete.
So that's 2 sets of debris, which is great. Gives us a lot.
Situation log updated.
They keep getting stronger and stronger.
Incoming transmission.
So they want a white piece. I don't care.
Construction complete.
Need another wormhole station.
Construction complete.
Okay, they're coming.
Research complete.
Okay, well, let's see. Their fleet is... Their fleet's quite a bit bigger than mine. I'm not certain that I can actually beat these guys. But they've got too much. I don't have an option other than
Enemy troops
my
lost.
final stand.
Hostile fleet. Military station lost. Construction ship lost.
Ah, so annoying. Okay. So they're right here.
Military station lost.
They're getting hit by the military stations, at least.
Analyzed.
Okay. Let's see.
Construction complete.
They're losing their fleet power faster than I am. I've still got 100.
Lost to invasion.
I'm not certain it will be enough. But I don't want to retreat just yet. Let's look into this a little bit. So once their cruisers seem to be using mostly large and medium guns, which we should be able to avoid. About looking through here, we only take about a quarter of those. Most of the damage seems to be coming from, well, this kinetic. So their cruisers are gone now. But
Situation log
it's time
updated.
for me to retreat. They made a good showing, but I'm gonna have to redo this. Let's see. I want all the corvettes to retreat. And now let's analyze this, see what most of the damage was from. It's mostly from the medium railguns and the large railguns. So my strategy of, and the large railguns actually had very poor hit chance. So I think I need to go just straight with straight cruisers, or straight corvettes rather. You're going to be starting my next fleet. I'm going to need to build this one a lot faster than the last one.
Military station lost.
Oh, let's use another trick. Let's make these even cheaper. There we go. They cost 100 now. And placing them around these places will just slow them down. Southama is going to be our next place to defend.
Situation log updated. Situation log updated. Construction complete.
Okay, so this one is actually even better to defend because we can basically have them drop out of warp directly between two planets with two spaceports. And seeing as their fleet's currently a lot smaller, we should be able to just take them out. These guys are troublesome. So okay, does anyone give me Corvette cost reduction? No, they do not. That's unfortunate. So let's see what we can get. So this one would be nice. Extra weapon damage, doesn't hurt. This one gives influence too, which is a little more valuable. Not to us, but in general. But this guy's the biggest help. He lets me build more defense platforms. And that's, as you've seen, I really like defense platforms.
Situation log updated.
Okay, let's up the speed. Some
Construction complete.
Okay. Now we've got three planets making Corvettes, 35, a little over a month apiece. That basically uses up all. With this, we can dump our entire mineral income into building ships, which is what we want, because we need to outproduce these guys, get back up to our fleet cap before they can reinforce, and hit them at Sathama.
Special project complete. Construction complete.
And while we're at it,
Enemy troops landing.
let's get even more.
Planet lost to invasion. Construction complete. Incoming transmission. Wormhole station lost. Construction complete.
Sorry, we're gonna have to decline that. Lost one of our scientists. Ah, that was my favorite scientist. Deal with that in a second.
Special project complete. Construction complete. Hostile fleet detected. Construction complete.
So that just trapped them in the middle here. Bought us a little bit of time.
Construction complete.
Hopefully they'll go here next. Have the same thing happen.
Construction complete. Construction complete. Hostile fleet detected.
Oh, they went ahead and did it again.
Construction complete.
Let's see if we can get one last
Incoming transmission.
fleet here built. Maybe two.
Situation log updated.
Actually, we can't afford to deal with both of these at once. So let's white piece out of him, out of that one.
Hostile fleet detected. Construction complete. Hostile fleet detected.
Here we go.
Claiming hostile fleet. Construction complete.
So this one's particularly good because we have both of our our starports attacking them.
Situation log updated.
And throughout this, I want to keep producing more. Let's see. So it looks like no, they didn't. They have 700 left. I can't even see them. Ah, they're down here. Must have been backup. Let's see. It looks like they ran. And I need to research all of this. So, with that, I think I'm going to finish this stream. I've managed to get a white piece with one of the people that invaded me, and I just defeated the main fleet of the second one. My plan is to counterattack, get rid of all this 87% whatever war score that they got, and conquer them. And then we will begin their cleansing. So right now, all they've got is they've got this little backup fleet. I believe they retreated probably back to Idorvang with their main fleet. But let me see if I can find this. So they managed to retreat with 12 cruisers, 7 destroyers, and a corvette. Nope, that's not true. I think I have to add up all of these to see what each individual thing destroyed. They may not have actually managed to retreat with anything. So, you may have noticed the fleet power they attacked with was easily double what I had. But using my defensive options, I managed to take them out. Well, thanks for watching. In the next part, I'm going to make these people pay for attacking me. So tune in. Yeah, check it out for part 3. Part 2 got a bit more exciting than part 1, and I think part 3 will be very satisfying.